Failures are just losers that never quit. Have you ever heard that expression? Well, it's true, but how did they do it? How did they get back up and keep trying? How do you acquire the strength and courage and audacity that it takes to get back up after one failure, let alone several failures? We hear all kinds of stories about people who tried and failed over and over again, but they finally succeeded in what they wanted to do. But you never really hear a story about someone who gives it their all, who tries as hard as they can all of their life and it never makes it anywhere. You just don't hear about that, because where there's a will, there's a way. If you're willing to keep trying, you will get it. So why do so many people give up? If all it takes is some determination and a will to push through those failures. One of the biggest reasons is that most of the time our desires just aren't strong enough. If you think about it, whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, it's probably pretty big. It's probably something that you've never experienced before. And so you don't really have something pushing you and calling you towards it because you've never experienced it. For example, if you take someone who has been homeless and broke all of their life, and you give them an opportunity to make as much money as they could ever want, and they try it and they fail at it, they're probably not going to be very likely to try again because they're used to the situation that they're in now. They're used to being poor and homeless, and they've never experienced another thing, and so they don't feel like they're losing out on anything by quitting. But if you take someone who had been rich and successful all of their life and they lost it all, and they were given that same opportunity and they tried and they failed, they're probably going to be a little more likely to try again because they know what they're missing. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, what I'm trying to say is that we need something fueling our desire. We need to get a taste of whatever it is that we're reaching for. You don't just need to know the goals that you want to accomplish or your end destination that you're wanting to get to. You need to know what kind of lifestyle you're reaching for and how it's going to feel once you actually get it, so that you have something pushing you toward your goal. Once you've fueled your desire and your desire is strong, you might have to take a look at your perspective on failure. You see, a lot of people look at failure as a sign from God or the universe that that's not what they're meant to be doing. Or some people might even think that it's karma coming back to haunt them from 20 years ago. But that's not the case at all. See, I don't believe that God puts us here with a destiny that He has chosen for us and just closes the door to any other opportunity so that we're just walking around aimlessly trying to find the destiny that He chose. That's crazy. Nobody gets to decide your destiny. Not God, not the universe, not karma, no one. You are in complete control. Those failures aren't really failures at all. You ever wanted to improve something about yourself? Maybe you wanted to be more responsible or easygoing, or maybe you wanted to be more humble, or maybe you wanted to have more confidence. And then you experienced something in life that you thought was a complete failure or a complete disaster, and then later on you realized that it ended up giving you one of those qualities that you were looking for. Or maybe it gave you something that you didn't even know you wanted. Every bad situation in our life has the ability to improve our lives, but you have to be willing to look for it. You have to be willing to see the good. If you're focused on all the bad that situation has brought you, you will never find the good in it. But if you look for the good, I promise you, you will find it. You don't even have to look for it. Just be willing to accept that even the tiniest amount of something good can come from something bad. And if you can do that, you will have a skill, a perspective that almost no one has. And that alone will change your life for the better in so many ways. I believe one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing, that prevents people from getting back up and trying again or to keep going when life gets hard is themselves. We are our biggest enemies. Our minds are amazingly powerful, beneficial tools, but they can also be our worst enemy. When your mind starts going crazy and you have a lot of thoughts about what just happened, pay attention to those thoughts. They're usually way over-exaggerated and inaccurate. Try to think back to high school. I'm sure you had an experience, all of us had bad experiences in high school, but try to think about the worst one where you thought that this was it, that your life was over, that you would never recover from this. But it wasn't. Your life wasn't over. That wasn't it. You overcame that. And we use that same thought process as adults. You know, we over-exaggerate things, and things that would look completely crazy to someone else feel right to us. And so next time you have that experience, take a second to write down what happened and how you feel about it, what the thoughts that you had about that was. And then once you write it down, take a break, walk away, do something that makes you happy. Listen to music, go for a walk, take a nap, meditate, or I find it's best to really just go to bed and come back to it tomorrow with a clear head and look at it, look at what you wrote and try to challenge that. Well, is this true? You know, is this really true? Is any of this even gonna matter in 10 years, in 20 years? Challenge what your brain is telling you, because most of the time it's not true. It's far from the truth. Shortcuts will get you there quicker, but the experience that you gain on the long road enables you to stay there once you arrive. So if you feel like you're on the long road to success, don't give up, because that experience will benefit you one day. Don't let your failures stop you. Don't be afraid to take risks and to bet on yourself, because after all, if you don't bet on yourself, no one else will. Don't make huge lists of pros and cons when it comes to your dreams. Your gut instinct is usually right. So do what feels right to you. Follow your bliss and don't give up. Because after all, you deserve it. You deserve the life of your dreams. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.